Alright gamers, we are playing against the new Lux buffs, which is a buff to her E and her ultimate, 30% bonus AP ratio all around. And she's got barrier, which we 100% have to remember, because we will get destroyed by that later when we press ult to go in. But essentially the way Lux operates is that she wants to throw E at you every single time that you go for a last hit on an obvious target. So you try to curve out, or you try to just like run diagonally in a lot of these plays. But her E is like an 8 to 9 second cooldown. Don't hold me to that, you can Google it yourself. But once she throws it, she's very low pressure for the next couple seconds. But you'll see how I constantly go in and out of max range, which makes it hard for her to get a read on it. And this is kind of the bread and butter of Vex, is you take short trades and you try to build a damage window, and then eventually we'll all in at level 3 or so forth. We're playing against a Wukong, so we technically could get level 3. We tend to get level 3 because we play aggro pretty often, so we're just going to drop a really early ward. Good E from her. And keep in mind, she's running Comet, so it doesn't really matter whether she gets first engaged or not. Comet's really consistent in that capacity, but it's not as initiation based as First Strike. I like running First Strike on Lux, even if Arcane Comet's better in every single way. Hey guys, please consider liking and subscribing if you like the content. Appreciate it. I'm gonna go and pop a health pod just because we are gonna be slow pushing an enemy tower, and we're gonna look for a 2v1 maybe. We have an Evelyn, so regardless of what we do, it doesn't matter since that champ's so fucking useless early game. And it's really important that we hug this side that has vision, so putting this ward on bot side means we have to continue playing around it. Because if I just hug this top side and he ganks me from above, it just doesn't matter that I warded. So we gotta make sure we're playing around this vision. And we do see Wukong, so we're just gonna immediately run up since we have a winning 2v2 and a 2v1. So I really need her to go for the W here. Otherwise it's a waste of my time. So it's a waste of my time, because I could be trading right now or like getting minions, but instead I just basically lose. If you want to play for the 2v2 at Crab, then you gotta actually do something. It's not fair to me to play for Prio and then get punished for moving to help you. But we do know Wukong's top side of mid, and if they do a reset, they're gonna end up at Krugs, so the next time we get ganked, it pretty much should be from bot side of mid. Garlic bread is gas. I love that you guys are just having a conversation about garlic bread in the background. And at this point, we're playing for ult kill, because we're keeping her in lane long enough to where we can actually look for an ultimate. With 344 health, she actually has 540-ish, if you include barrier and maybe her W. So even though it looks like she's in kill range to a flash W, she is in fact not in kill range. Which is really annoying. But I might let the wave push into me just so that I'm safer from a gank. And I guess hugging topside at this point is the correct play. I'm kind of getting chunked out at max range now. Even though I got really good trades early on, she's trying to just suppress me with individual ease. At this point, we pretty much just look for a recall. She's managed to claw it back. Partially, this is because of their roam topside that wasted a bunch of my time, but... Holy shit, that's so much damage! Rar. Bro, I hate junglers so much, man. I swear, it's the only role in the game where you basically get to passively int all your teammates and it's fine. Alright, we're running straight bottom. We're gonna get a double kill here. You push lane in, you lose absolutely nothing, and then you get a free roam, so... If this blast cone's up, this will work 99.9% of the time. Because you're bypassing this tri-bush ward. And now we just reset back in the mid lane. Alright, so we went from losing the game to immediately winning the game, and we're going to lose 1 minion wave off of this. So we're losing 125 gold in exchange for 600. If I was a better player, I would not have had to waste flash, so that's something to consider, but... We win! It's done, it's over! Thank you. I love you. Now we just head back in the mid lane. I love this Vex skin so much. It's one of my favorites. Tanzanite and whatever this one is, Pink Jade. I remember getting in a debate with my friend on whether or not Pink Jade was an actual color or if it was just like a finish. Can you love me too? My husband has been neglecting me. What the heck? Okay. We just have to max range over and over because this... We can't ever get close enough to actually hit her because she's always max ranging her, her E. So the only thing we can do is we can constantly push lane and then look for roams. So I don't have ult for 40 seconds, so initiating a roam here isn't always the best. So it's a little bit more time efficient for me to just continue grabbing XP and gold mid lane and then waiting on that ultimate before I look for a deeper play. She's gonna look for an E over the wall, so we're just gonna keep running. Bro, does she have tier 2 boots? No, she's just outrunning me naturally, even though I have brown boots. Alright, now we're gonna head back down. At this point, she's gonna ult away, hopefully, and then... Ooh, okay. Even if we run through Lux here, it doesn't matter, because we're already behind the enemy team, so... We can also all end the Lux here, if she tries to continue running. Oh, you're kidding! 1 HP, no! That's so sad. Barrier is such a crutch skill, man. Now, the good news is we will be able to push this lane and she'll end up losing some CS along with the cannon. I tried to wait for her to Q so that I could throw out my ultimate and unstoppable it, but... Now, the CC still persists even after going for ultimate, so... It's kind of a non-factor, but... It would let me buy a little bit of space, granted. We're gonna buy tier 2 boots here. Yeah, can you imagine a Vex buff right now? Like, she's way too strong in low elo to be buffed, but like, holy shit, is she miserable to play in high elo. This champ does so little damage in comparison to everything else in the game right now. Is Fiora mid, troll or nah? You should only really play tank... Sorry, not tank, but like top laners mid if you're counterpicking other melees. That's why they have such high win rates. Also, because you can play D-Shield. Man, Lux OP, Kappa. So, like, all things considered, even with the Lux buffs, this champion still blows. And the reason why this champion sucks is because she has no mobility. And even though she plays like this, she will never ever get ganked because people just do not understand how useless this champion is versus ganks. Like, we could have been doing this the entire game. The moment Evelynn hits 6, like, this lane is over. Like, she is so low mobility that if you ever even get close to her, she instantly dies. Like, this champion is by far one of the worst champs in the game right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, the fact that she had to get a double buff, and she's still useless because every champ in the game can bypass her range, except for... some very unfortunate champions. Like, even then, like, tanks would still just one-shot you. Like, imagine playing Lux into a Camille, or a Zac, or Sejuani, or Kindred or Graves. You just get one-shot, even at range. There's just too many good champions right now to consider playing Lux, except for, like, rare situations. It's just kind of like relegated into a counterpick champion. I really wanted that play. Alright, we actually have kill pressure now because she got hit by that, so I'm just going to wait over the wall and R. If she runs up to me, I guess it's fine anyways, but she just ulted so she doesn't have enough damage. I could have dived bottom and get off that wave crash, actually. That's my bad. Right, and we're printing money. So, just because we got that one trade, that's what made that kill possible. Because we're not just trying to one-shot her at full. And then we can grab the plate as well, since we saw Wukong top lane. Up to what rank is Vex broken? I'm gonna go and say 400 LP. Maybe 200, 300 LP. It's not that she's super bad in high elo, like she's actually one of the best blind picks in the game. The issue is that people in Masters do not know how to play with a Vex. It's kind of a waste of time to play Vex with bad players, because you're playing an early game skirmish champion that automatically wins early game, has great roam potential, and then they just leave you to 1v3 mid lane the entire game, even though you could just win off of Vex mid. And that's the issue that I have, is I'll pick Vex with a strong early game jungle like Kindred or Graves, and then they'll power farm for 15 minutes instead of ganking or like invading. And then it feels like a waste of time after that. So it's like, okay, glad that we had this game. But by all means, like, Vex has really good matchups, really good impact. The only issue is that her damage output is extremely low, so if you're playing against a lot of tanks, you just don't do damage. Like, my full combo does like 400 damage to somebody with 50 MR. It's like, okay, I guess I just don't do damage. Imagine playing versus a Diana with 2000 health and 70 MR. Your Q does like 200 damage. And it's like, okay, sure. I probably should have paid attention to that one, though. I was too busy talking. It kind of sucks, but we could just look for a play over the wall. Wait, Soraka. One more? One more? Alright, now we're gonna go kill. What? Alright, that's bullshit. This has to be warded. This has to be warded specifically. If you guys didn't know, Fear cancels dashes. Like, it'll interrupt them midair. So I knocked the Wukong out of the air. I could have just waited on the ult because I already had them cut off, but very, very good for us. Is patch live? Yes, it just doesn't say it verbally that the patch is live. You know what's going on, Mr. Walrus? How we doing today? Twitch chat is greater than League Match. I agree. Actually, I'm super close to a rod, so I'm just going to go and stay at this point. We have information on 3 players. So it's like not the greatest to operate with, but it's enough to get that gold and then be able to walk away. It's like right now, by the time I recall, I have enough from passive income to have 1250 out of base anyways. Now, this probably is warded just because we ran away, or they chased for here, so here's hoping. We can also go Mejai's here, like in this situation where you have a lot of winning players, going Mejai's is actually a really great way to continue snowballing. It's just that it comes at a risk, right? Because you could go Rod here, get 60 AP no matter what, and it builds into Shadowflame, and then you have a pretty easy way of teching into Rabadons. But when you spend 1250 gold and you die and you lose all these stacks, you're basically delaying your own power spike. So it's very important that you have an easy way of getting stacks and not just losing it. This game it's fine because I have a Soraka. The fact that I have a Soraka makes this item just godly and unstoppable. Alright, GG. You know, sometimes you gotta miss, you gotta... What's that Wayne Gretzky quote? You miss every shot that you don't take. Don't worry, I popped off on that one. Who needs ultimate anyways with Mejai's? In fact. Actually, I'm fine here, just because I have Fear come back up. Sheesh! So at this point, I'm just so far ahead that it doesn't really matter, but in these situations, you would technically have to play a lot more clean and methodically. But due to the fact that I am so far ahead in terms of item state, I can play like this without really too many concerns. Something that you would do realistically here is that if you had enough money, you would buy stopwatch with the Mejai's just to keep your stacks. So you could buy the stopwatch and then you don't have to finish Sanya's. You can just sit on the stopwatch for one of the first 2 team fights. Otherwise, you could just go straight into Shadowflame or Rabadons. Now, I like to go Rabadons when I have Mejai's just because the AP stacking is much more prevalent. But sometimes you actually do need the Shadowflame for an earlier game spike. Like, that's the main two differences, that Rabadon's gives you infinite scaling and a really huge AP spike, but shadowflame is cheaper, gives you a combat stats faster, and then it's a little bit more easy to access because there's component items that are cheap. If you fuck up on a single recall with Rabadons, you just don't have enough money to buy a rod. You fuck up with a shadowflame, you have enough to buy anything, really. Dude, my shield is oppressive. Alright, looks like that's a GG. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.